It was a rainy evening, and Emily was driving home from work, the wipers furiously trying to keep up with the downpour. The road was deserted, and she felt a shiver run down her spine. Just a few more miles, she thought. Her phone buzzed, startling her. She glanced at the screen. It was a text from an unknown number. "Do you see me?" Confused and a bit creeped out, Emily put her phone away and kept driving. She told herself it was probably a prank. The rain intensified, making it harder to see the road. She slowed down, her knuckles turning white as she gripped the steering wheel. Suddenly, her car's engine sputtered and died. She coasted to the side of the road, heart pounding. She tried the ignition again, but the car wouldn't start. Panic set in. She was alone, in the middle of nowhere, with no help in sight. She reached for her phone to call for help, but realized it was missing. Frantically, she searched the car but couldn't find it. Then, the phone buzzed again from the back seat. Turning around, she saw it lying on the seat, screen glowing with another message from the unknown number. "Look outside." Her breath hitched. She didn't want to look, but something compelled her to. She rolled down the window a crack and peered out. Nothing but darkness and rain met her gaze. She felt a strange mix of relief and fear. Her phone buzzed again. This time, it was a picture. With trembling hands, she opened it. It was a photo of her car, taken from behind, in the rain. Her heart raced. Whoever was texting her was close. Very close. She locked the doors, her mind racing with possibilities. Maybe it was a prank, she told herself again, though she didn't believe it. Her phone buzzed once more. She didn't want to look, but she had to. Another photo. This time, it was of her, looking out the window. She gasped and dropped the phone. Her hands were shaking uncontrollably. She heard a tap on the window, and slowly, very slowly, she turned her head. Standing there, in the rain, was a figure. Its face was hidden in shadow, but she could see the outline of a sinister grin. Paralyzed with fear, Emily could only watch as the figure raised a hand and waved slowly. Then it reached into its pocket and pulled out a phone. Her phone buzzed again, the screen lighting up with another message: "I see you." In a sudden surge of adrenaline, Emily threw open the car door and bolted into the woods, not looking back. She ran blindly through the trees, the rain blurring her vision and branches clawing at her skin. She could hear footsteps behind her, getting closer. Desperation fueled her as she stumbled and fell, mud splashing around her. She scrambled to her feet and kept running until she burst into a clearing. There, in the center, stood a dilapidated cabin. With no other options, she ran inside and slammed the door shut. She found a rusted bolt and slid it into place, then backed away, trying to catch her breath. The cabin was dark and filled with eerie shadows. She heard the footsteps outside, circling the cabin. Then, a knock on the door. "Emily," a voice whispered through the wood. "Let me in." She backed into a corner, tears streaming down her face. The door rattled as the figure outside pounded harder. The bolt started to give. With a final, desperate effort, Emily grabbed a broken piece of wood and held it like a weapon. The door burst open, and the figure stepped inside, that same sinister grin now visible. Emily screamed, raising the wood, but it was too late. The figure lunged at her, and everything went black. The next morning, Emily's car was found on the side of the road, empty. The police searched the area but found no sign of her, only her phone lying in the mud, with one last message on the screen: "Goodbye."